Alright, so today is the day we're finally putting out our trail cameras for this year. As a lot of you guys know, we ran the CuddeLinks last year, and we really liked them. We are running the exact same CuddeLinks. We have 11 CuddeLink cameras this year, and we ended up adding an addition to our fleet, I guess you can call it, is we picked up, they make a cell cam home system that's cellular. And it's the newer camera. It's got the D cells built into it. We bought 11 D battery packs to add to our CuddeLink, so they now all have the D cell batteries. And I'm hoping that they last a lot longer than they did last year. So we're gonna take you guys and show you guys putting them out, and just kind of show you, probably kind of walk you through the setup guide, how we use them. And yeah, overall I think it's going to be a really good system. First and foremost, their cellular was really easy to hook up, so I really like that. But we're going to go out and get them all set up and yeah, go from there.
We're hoofing it because we don't want to sacrifice a row or two of beans.
Home. Okay. Location 1. This is for the home camera. This has one node.
One node is in.
So you gotta set the channel. They don't recommend you do channel number 1 because that's how they come standard. So we're gonna set our channel, but we're not gonna tell anybody.
We need a privacy screen of that.
Okay, so now I'll go to the cell menu.
You put it on Disney Channel, right?
Yeah. Cell menu. I don't really know. Mode on. Okay. Rate. We're gonna do every 8 hours.
Sure.
Okay. CC test. This is gonna test if it actually has service. So now it's testing to see if we get cell coverage. And first and foremost, we're not getting paid or like discounts or anything for these cameras. This is like strictly.
Trust us, we are paying them.
Yeah, we are paying for all this stuff. This is added up. We just like the system and it's worked for us, and so that's what we're gonna use. So if CuddeLink's watching this, hook your boys up. I guess while we're waiting. Oh, so it did it. It successfully did it. Setting up the cell cam for activation was not hard at all. It's actually honestly why I said let's maybe pick one up, because you can pay monthly for it and you can activate it by month by month basis. So we bought this camera not knowing that there's 2 models to this camera. There's this camera that requires cell service to like be active, and then there's another camera that's $200 more to be able to run with or without the cell service. So
basically just act as a home cam.
Yep. So basically what we're doing is we're running all of our older, I guess 1-year-old CuddeLink cameras to send to this home camera, and then this cell camera is going to send all of our pictures to an email address. And it was really simple to set up and activate, because all you got to do is go to their website, pay for it, and then it's done. Like, you don't have to go in and go dink around at like Verizon or something.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it so much better. So we selected the 2,000 photo plan, and we're going to continue to set it up.
If you go over, it's like $5 per 2,000.
So we'll just figure go over, because it's either pay the $20 for 2,000 photos, or you have to pay $40 for unlimited. And by the time that you reach unlimited, in my eyes, you can just keep paying for $5 each time, each 2,000 over you go.
We'll just have to see.
So CCID. Oh no, we already did that.
What is that?
CC clear. I don't know what that means. Cam ID.
Did you ever format that card?
Yeah. So this is, I'm just gonna call it 1. How about that? Cam ID. Okay.
It's not the CuddeLink idea, is it?
No. Settings. Advanced mode or easy mode? What do you want? Just do easy mode, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we did last year. And doing easy mode.
Okay.
Delay 30 seconds each photo, you think? That's probably a good amount.
Yeah.
Okay. Success. And then it should be good. I've got the channel in my head of what we need to go to. And
Is the date and time set for sure?
yeah, we'll go back and check that. That's a good idea. So it's completely set up. Now all I gotta do is arm the camera, wait for it to arm, and there's one. 11 to go. Alright guys, so I want to give you guys a quick pro tip with them that I found after last year doing this. When you're setting your cameras, after we got that remote set or the home camera set, the best thing that I found to do is go through your CL level and set it there so it connects to your channel, and then walk away from your camera. So that way you have a, like it'll right now it says 100% because it's like right there. So now as I walk away, it'll continuously drop, and you'll know if you have a good signal before you get someplace and you can't get it to connect.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a pro tip that I found because I struggled with that last year. So make sure you connect to it and then start moving and then keep going. So
We typically get anywhere from 200 to 400 yards, don't we?
yeah, depending on the vegetation. In the summertime, it's a lot thicker, so it doesn't travel as far. As well as if it's down in elevation, it changes it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they say they can go to a mile.
That's not true.
That's not true because unless you're like on a flat open place where you can see each point like a mile away. But we'll keep moving. Auto, stats, auto. Okay, settings, setup. Well, this is the side of the creek that we couldn't get to mow, and we don't need to. I mean, this, I guess there's more weeds up here, but this is a success. Like, for first year switchgrass, I'm not sure if it gets much better than this. I mean, it's going to come back next year and absolutely be 5 foot tall. Right, we can burn it too. Can, yeah. Pretty pumped about this. I mean, because this is part of that pasture where we kick the cows off and we're just turning into a deer heaven, and this will help. So yeah. This is all just really patchy too. It's awesome. Got some honeysuckle bush and
thorns,
locust pods. And it's gonna be sweet. So we're down here putting the fourth camera up, and there's a stand on top of this hill. We're obviously here in the timber, you can see. This is the stand that Dad sat a lot. He called it his stand because he was in it so much and he saw so many big bucks. And
just flawless entry and exit.
Yeah, it's so easy to get in and out without spooking anything. So this year, since we put beans, we got a big bean field back at there, or not like a 5-acre one that you guys just saw up there. And then there's a giant 10 to 15 acre field that we planted up here, how the farm's laying out, and it's completely changed the deer movement. And so we're kind of, we think in our heads, because naturally back last year there was no food on us, so all the deer were going to our neighboring property to the south to feed on his alfalfa and just a big, like, mostly CRP field with browse in there. So this year we think it's going to completely change the deer patterns. And there's kind of a lot more trails that are giving us signs of that, so we're kind of setting up this camera to see and how it lays out. There's a bunch of bedding that way, and if they don't go to that field up there, the chances are they're going to come up to this field to feed at night. And there's a pond right here, so with this hill that's coming over, there's a good chance that some of the deer at least are going to come through the timber here and pop up into the bean field and start feeding up. Now there's a chance that they go on the other side of the pond on that side, but
obviously there's quite a few that travel right
Yeah.
here, though.
Right, so this is going to be
Nice.
kind of a test. I think we're going to set it up either right here or somewhere along the lines here. I like the idea of getting these two trails that intersect right here because they're still going up. We can see if they're going up or if they're going over. So I'm going to probably honestly put it right here. Looking at it, right?
Where we at?
So this is the hole in the fence spot. This was by far like our most productive camera all last year. And we called it the hole in the fence because there's a hole in the fence. And to our south here is actually our neighbor's property. And last year, this is the spot that, you know, a lot of the deer were not eating on us. They were going to this field to eat like every day. And it molded the hole in the fence buck because, you know, we're very creative here. And the buck was here like every single night or every single morning too at times. And he was just in October, and Dad sat it once and tried to see the deer, and he saw him just for a quick second, so he couldn't judge really how big he was. And we just opted to kind of stay away from him because we didn't know.
I think he was a 4-year-old last year.
Right.
About 160, 165.
Right, so he was a good deer, but we just wanted to see how big he would get, so we just kind of got greedy, and hopefully he survived. So we're putting this camera back out because we're going to assume he's got the same pattern, but it might have completely changed with the abundance of food right there. Look at that. So we're still going to put it here because we still think eventually there's going to be a big deer coming through here.
It's still pretty beat down.
Yeah, and there's still big tracks. So we're repositioning it. Last year we had it on a tree behind Hunter, but we're going to put it here so it's still kind of catching any movement that's going to take the edge and go up to this alfalfa field if it starts to establish really good.
This is the promised land. We had to walk through a lot of stickers to get down here, but we're in the buck hole because there's a lot of bucks that use this, especially during the summertime. It's just a beat down mineral lick that's really old. So, and then up top we have a camera that connects this one because this is a really sharp downhill, and you almost have to have them right on top of each other to get to from the bottom of the hill to the top. And then we have two more after this. So,
Killing two birds with one stone, putting more minerals.
what is that? What is the pine?
This is really cool to see. Trail. 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 Yeah. We had to do an audible because last year we had the home camera just right over there, so it connected easily. And I've been doing good. Hunter can vouch for me. I've been doing good in knowing which one we got to go to link up. And I didn't even think about this one. I'm like, oh yeah, it'll be good. This is the hardest one we've had to link up, and we barely got it. It was flirting with how the CuddeLinks work. They have to be over 20% good with their signal or it won't work. And it was at like 18, 4, 5, 6. And all of a sudden Hunter stood here with it, and it was like, when I was holding it was bad. When Hunter was holding it was like 30, 50, 30, 25, 20. So we're like, let's do it.
Yeah.
So we put it up here. It was originally over there from last year. We had to move it here. This is an old dead apple tree that we never planted. And this is from the previous owner. And so we're putting it here. It's still facing the same direction, but a lot of the deer either come this way or they come that way. So we're gonna hope to get them on that. So. All right, guys, we wrapped up the video in the field, but as soon as we got home, we realized we were already getting pictures from all the cameras with that new cell cam. And it's been just over a week, 8 days now. So we figured we'd give a little bit of an update on the camera quality, the picture quality when it's sent through the emails, how it all works. And also give a little bit of an update on the bucks we have so far, because honestly, we were blown away.
Yeah.
And pretty happy about it. And who doesn't like looking at trail camera pictures of bucks? So do a little bit of an update here. So to start, we want to touch a little bit on the quality. And honestly, I was really hesitant with how the cell quality would turn out, because last year with the CuddeLink home camera, they kind of looked a little like fuzzy at times, and it wasn't the best.
Honestly, I feel like we're getting better quality.
Yeah,
out
I feel
of
like
our cell cam than just sending it home. And I don't know if that's what
I feel like the settings what
It
happened.
must be the settings.
And I honestly think it might be because we have the D-cell packs on them now, so there's stronger signal, so it can push it harder. So I'm not
theoretically it should be the same amount of power going into the unit. I'm an engineer, sorry, so that shouldn't affect it, but
yeah. Anyway, I'm just gonna say it's the D-cell battery packs and it's just pushing it harder, but I'm probably wrong. But the quality is actually really good. Obviously, when you get out there with photos, they're only sending them as a 5 megapixel photo to the cell camera, which is sending it to our email address. So it's not the 20 megapixels like I have it set up on the camera, but those are all going to the SD card, and we can check those after season. But overall, it's really good quality, and we kind of wanted to touch on the madness. And we had the camera set up to send photos every 8 hours. And it seemed like it took a while for it to get in a rhythm of every 8 hours, because like that very first Monday after, we were getting photos like every hour on the hour, and then the 1 hour, the 1 hour that we weren't getting any photos, Hunter and I were like jittering, like shaking, like, dude, what's wrong with the camera? It's like, what's going on? Like,
we're like at work, we're getting nothing done. Like we're just
we're like,
you got any bucks?
Refresh,
and like we're already getting pretty nice bucks on it, so of course instantly creates problems.
But
with mental health.
Yeah, it was crazy. It's fun though, but now it started to work itself into a system, and it's actually sending them relatively every 8 hours.
Yeah, and if it goes over 30 pictures, I think there must be some sort of setting that we didn't know about. There's a bin setting. If it goes over 30 pictures between that 8 hour period, it'll send them all, because whenever it hits 30, it sends. So there's some inconsistencies, but honestly, it's pretty consistent. Over the night, we'll get 2 or 3 sets of emails with like 30 pictures, and then it'll also send them at like midnight, 4 a.m., midnight, 8 a.m., 4 p.m., and then midnight again. So the 8 hours, and then plus whatever 30 image batches are there.
Right. And the email address is nice. We just set up a brand new Gmail account just so everybody could check in on it, and go from there. So with that, we'll just kind of touch on the couple of the bucks that we've gotten so far that we're pretty excited about. And literally, one of the first deer that we've got was like a couple hours after.
Yeah.
And I think that was that brand new big 8 pointer.
Oh, yeah.
In that field, that very first photo, he was just standing there looking at you with those brows. And that deer was brand new. We've never seen this deer before in our entire life.
No.
And originally we thought it was the big 7 deer that I actually almost got to shoot last year.
Me too.
And we're like, that doesn't make sense because his brow tines are just too big. Like, the deer came from having no brows to big brows.
But similar big frame, and honestly not high scoring genetics, just looks huge.
Yeah.
And he looks huge from the front, especially when you look at him from the side, you're kind of like, okay, back to reality. But I mean, definitely not the same deer. And then to confirm that, we actually got pictures of the big 7 a little bit later in the week. And we've only gotten like 3 pictures of him, but he added an 8th point, called him the Big Sexy 7. He's going to keep that name.
Yeah.
But he added an 8th point, just a real small point. Huge frame again, huge body.
And his body was big last year. And
he was mature last year, and we were on the fence about shooting him. We probably should have targeted him a little bit earlier in the season, but we ended up waiting until after we saw him because we didn't realize how big he actually was. But he just looks like a cow this year, and he's going to be running off bucks. And I'd be thrilled to take him.
Yeah, I was
a huge deer in person.
When I saw him in person, I was like, holy smokes, this is a big deer.
Yeah.
I feel like we're definitely too hard on trail camera pictures. So.
Exactly.
Another one we can touch on is this nice 9-pointer. We've gotten quite a few pictures of him. I don't remember this deer on our farm last year, but
unless it's there's a few deer that it probably could be, but he doesn't look exactly like him. We really need to, after he drops his velvet and we can get the most pictures of him, we'll compare them, but we're not exactly sure if we know of this deer.
And I'm hoping to go out and get some velvet footage this weekend, so maybe try to see some of these deer in real life. It would be pretty cool.
But he's big. I think he's probably a 4-year-old, but probably going to be 150 this year, about 150.
And honestly, the one that I'm kind of most excited about, and it's like shouldn't be that excited, is the deer we called Squiggles last year. He was like, I thought he was a 2-year-old deer. He was this tiny little basket rack at most. deer. He had squiggly brows like that, and he had on his left side last year he had a little bit of a kicker off of his main beam that went in.
Yeah, whole inside point.
Yeah, whole inside point, extra point. And it wasn't like, I mean, it's kind of going to be the same length as all the other points. And this year, he just blew up. Like, he blew up, and it was ridiculous. He's not super wide, so he still seems pretty young. We're guessing he's like 3 years old, and his body's...
3 or 4.
And his body's really small, though. That's why I keep saying he's 3.
But, yeah.
But we could be wrong on that. But I really hope he sticks around. Last year, he disappeared right after summer, and we never saw him until now. I really hope he sticks around because I feel like, I mean, we're having new neighbors around this year, and hopefully the neighbors don't shoot him. So
we'd like to give him one more year. He'd be an awesome buck, but just because he does have some of the best genetics we've seen so far,
yeah,
it'd be awesome to see what he can really turn into. So
right.
Hopefully no one makes a mistake and shoots him, because if it happens quick, it'd be easy to mess up.
Yeah, he's a good deer. The 2 bucks that are MIA so far, there's probably more that I'm missing, but the one that's been kind of our radar has been the fence buck, and that's a deer that we're kind of kicking ourselves with because we not really passed him up, we just never targeted him because we didn't want to bump him off. And
he was the most consistent mature buck.
Yeah, and he was probably over 160, and we wanted to see if he put on another 15 inches coming into this year, and we haven't seen any sign of him yet. So last year he didn't come in until around August, so hopefully he's still alive, but I don't know.
We got pictures of him into December, I think, but not after that really, and it was real inconsistent, especially after the first part.
Yeah, he traveled pretty hard during the rut, so he was not being very smart. And then the next one was we called him the unicorn buck. He had a giant, I call it an eye guard, eye guard coming off. That was super big. Hunter saw him during hunting season twice, and he could have shot him, but he was like definitely a 3-year-old.
Yeah, probably 3.
He's got really good genetics, just like that Squiggles buck did, and we were hoping to see what he looked like this year because he was probably going to be 160, 170, but we haven't seen anything of him yet. But we saw him he hung out quite a bit last summer with the fence buck. Remember, I'm looking back, so it could mean they're summering somewhere else, which could be a good thing. But there's corn, different crops, but we'll dive into that later. So yeah, I feel like we blabbed long enough about that. Hopefully you guys still stuck around. If you guys did, please drop it in the comments below if you guys liked the video, and then give it a thumbs up. And if you guys haven't already done so, please subscribe. It helps us out, and we really appreciate it. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys all in the next one. Thanks.